The New York Knicks are having one of the best starts to a season in recent franchise history. At 21-9, NBA Cup champions and firmly established near the top of the Eastern Conference, New York has finally reached the level fans have been waiting years to see. The team looks legitimate. The energy at Madison Square Garden is back. And for the first time in a long time, the Knicks are being talked about as a real threat. But beneath all this success, there's a difficult situation quietly developing, one that could have massive consequences for the future of this roster. That situation centers around Mitchell Robinson. Robinson isn't just another role player. He's the longest tenured Knick on the roster, a reminder of where this team has been and how far it has come. Through coaching changes, roster turnover, and rebuilding years, Robinson has remained a constant. And now, as the Knicks are finally winning, his future with the team is suddenly uncertain. Mitchell Robinson's contract is set to expire after this season, meaning he will enter unrestricted free agency at the end of the league year. That alone would be a storyline worth monitoring. But it becomes far more complicated when you consider recent history. Just 1 year ago, the Knicks lost Isaiah Hartenstein, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in free agency without receiving anything in return. It was a tough loss, one that exposed the risks of asset management when contracts expire. Now, New York may be staring at the exact same problem all over again. On the court, Mitchell Robinson brings something to this team that very few players in the league can replicate. His offensive rebounding is elite, not good, not solid, elite. Every offensive rebound he grabs extends a possession. Every extra possession creates another opportunity to score. And over the course of a game, those small moments add up in a huge way. Robinson doesn't need plays drawn up for him. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He changes games through effort, timing, and physical presence. That impact was on full display during the Knicks' Christmas Day matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. In a game watched by a national audience, Robinson played just 17 minutes and didn't score a single point. Yet he was one of the most influential players on the floor. He finished with 13 rebounds, 8 of them on the offensive glass. He added 2 assists, altered shots at the rim, and recorded a block. 0 points, maximum impact. Performances like that perfectly capture the value Robinson brings to this team, value that doesn't always show up in the box score. However, there's another side of the story the Knicks can't afford to ignore. Availability has been the biggest concern of Mitchell Robinson's career. Injuries have consistently limited his ability to stay on the floor for extended stretches. And this season, the Knicks are being especially cautious. Robinson has been held out of back-to-back games as part of a plan to preserve his health for what the organization hopes will be a deep playoff run. From one perspective, this makes sense. The Knicks are thinking long-term. They want Robinson healthy when it matters most. But from another perspective, it raises serious questions. How much can a team commit financially to a player who isn't always available? And how does that uncertainty factor into long-term roster planning? As the NBA trade deadline slowly approaches, these questions are becoming more urgent. In recent weeks, the Knicks have been linked to several guards, including Donte DiVincenzo and Dennis Schroeder. Both players would address clear needs on the roster. DiVincenzo would add consistent three-point shooting and floor spacing. Schroeder would provide ball handling, pace, and constant pressure on the defense. On paper, either move could elevate the Knicks' offense, but nothing in today's NBA exists in isolation, especially not under the league's new financial rules. Because of the size of their contracts, acquiring either DiVincenzo or Schroeder would almost certainly require the Knicks to include Mitchell Robinson in the deal. And that's where the situation becomes truly uncomfortable. The NBA's second apron system was designed to discourage teams from overspending. Once a team crosses that threshold, the penalties become severe, limiting trades, signings, and roster flexibility. For most franchises, staying above the second apron for multiple seasons is simply not an option ownership is willing to consider. For the Knicks, this creates a narrow path forward. If they want to avoid crossing the second apron in consecutive seasons, trading for a guard like DiVincenzo or Schroeder without moving Robinson becomes nearly impossible. And even if the Knicks choose not to make a trade, the financial consequences don't disappear. Re-signing Robinson in the offseason could still push New York into dangerous territory under the new cap rules, which leads to a difficult reality Knicks fans may not want to accept. Even if Mitchell Robinson finishes this season in a Knicks uniform, his long-term future with the team is far from guaranteed. The front office is being forced to weigh 2 competing priorities. On one side, there's the need for shooting, playmaking, and offensive versatility, elements that become even more critical in the playoffs. On the other, there's Mitchell Robinson's elite rebounding, rim protection, and ability to control the paint. Skills that don't come cheap and aren't easily replaced. This isn't just about one trade. It's about philosophy. Do the Knicks double down on what has made them successful defensively? Or do they adjust the roster to better survive playoff basketball in an offense-driven league? Do the Knicks need shooting more than they need Mitch? That's the question looming over this team right now. And the answer may define the next chapter of New York Knicks basketball. Knicks fans, what would you do?